Folks, it is Friday again. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? SketchUp Live Day once again. Woo! We got a hot one for you today, baby. Get ready. Woo! We got Aaron in the house, behind the screen, in front of the green screen, in front of the camera, in front of the SketchUp, and hot dog! We got a great one for you. We got the Ghost Trap from Ghostbusters, from the first Ghostbusters, and probably all the Ghostbusters. We're getting a lot of Ghostbusters talk today on the show, of course, but no, great start to the weekend. Thanks for joining us. Grab your beverage of choice and tune in. Let's get down to it. Let's get into some SketchUp modeling with Aaron today. Woohoo! Let's hear it.
Awesome. Man, it's I feel so happy to be here now. I mean, that was kind of like meh beforehand, but now I'm actually excited. So that's a plus. Thank you for the intro,
party
man.
time, baby.
I have to I feel like to live up to something now. I can't just I don't have to actually perform. Yeah. Welcome to Friday afternoons with SketchUp. This is our live modeling stream, and I'm Aaron Dietzen, if you didn't catch that. And joining me as my ghost co-host, because he's not in the studio, is Matt Robison.
Your ghost host.
With the most. Thank you
That's
very much.
I also control the soundboard, so I'll be dropping sounds on you.
There we go.
All afternoon.
That's for when Aaron gets two heads down and forgets that he's actually live streaming. That's what that's for.
Any dead air will be filled with sounds. You can guarantee it.
It's good to have that. Hey, so welcome back, guys. If this is your first time, welcome. And if it's not your first time, welcome. So yeah, we are going to do a fun model here. In about a month, mid-December, they're releasing a new Ghostbusters movie, which is supposed to be a continuation of the original Ghostbusters line. No disrespect to Jenny McCarthy or Kristen Wiig, but yeah, it's the better Ghostbusters movie.
So many great Ghostbusters films to pick from. So we're all about equality here, and there's a lot of a good across the entire spectrum of Ghostbusters movies that we can talk about today, of course.
Yeah, but we all know the best one. That's anyhow. So yeah, so I was actually originally when I thought about this, I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool to model a proton pack, which I still want to do. It's such a cool, iconic, weird thing. It's kind of like the DeLorean. Like you look at it and you immediately know what it is and think about it. But it's definitely a complex model. Like the base model is not too hard, but then you got a lot of cables and twisted ribbon cables and stuff that I think it's doable, but I think it's something I would want to take my time and really savor that modeling process.
You don't want to do it in front of everybody, is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So we figured, but the Ghost Trap, that seems like an actually, pretty easily digestible 2-hour model. I think we can do that. And I think in 2 hours we can actually clip some stickers off and put those on there and put some textures on, that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be a fun one. Yeah. So we could talk about it more. We could do it. I think we should just do it. So let's hop in and let's start modeling.
Time to jump in. You know what that sound means? No, I'm just kidding. Also, I was telling Aaron before the stream that there's going to be a lot of Ghostbusters quotes, I'm sure, in the chat here, but I'm not as familiar with Ghostbusters as I would like to be. So definitely call them out, but I'm not going to be able to recognize them probably as well as Aaron is, but he's got his eye on the model, so who knows? Yeah. But
yeah, I realize we have a shortcoming in the interview process, obviously.
Hey, I've probably seen Ghostbusters like 5 times, but some people are Calvin says, wore the VHS out. I'm not in that boat, but hey, no, it's a great one.
I seriously,
Ghostbusters 2.
I'll back Calvin up on that because I remember, I can still picture it in our head, like in my head, the paper cardboard covered for the VHS tape. It was all black and then had the logo on there and movie cover. And I just remember it just being beaten. Every edge was ripped. The back was torn. Yeah.
Barely hanging on.
so many hours of Ghostbusters watched in my childhood.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As I'm sure a lot of people out there. So yeah, if you have a Ghostbusters quote come up, definitely drop it in the chat without question.
Throw it in there.
Yeah, and let us know where you're joining from today too. Looks like we got Jody in the chat already trolling about Armageddon. I'm a big Armageddon fan. It's true. Thomas, hey. Raphael, hello.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys again. It's been a while. All right. We're 5 minutes in, and I mean, Tyson would probably be halfway through his model by now, so I gotta put something on the screen. All right, so I did find a bunch of reference images. I believe the reference images are for a reproduction of the prop itself. I don't think I found images of the real prop, but they look really good. They're all weathered and worn, and they look pretty close to the prop, but I think it's not the actual prop, but I don't know. Maybe one of you eagle-eyed followers, Ghostbuster fan types, will be able to call out why it's not authentic, but it's good enough for our purposes.
Absolutely. And those images are in the forum thread, and that's linked in the description.
Yes. So you can check that out there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and import, and I'm going to import the first one I downloaded. So you can see here my images. I got one that's like almost a 3/4 view of most of the sides, and then a couple pictures of the actual foot pedal as well. So that'll be cool. You can maybe model that as well.
Oh, baby, double trouble. Oh, you also already have Keggy, the first one to drop in the chat. That he wants you to.
Oh, come on, man. I haven't used it yet. I'm feeling harassed at this point.
One image in and
fine.
One thing away from a template, but save early, saved often. That's what they say for sure. Lawrence, late again. Hey, just barely. You made it in time. So happy to have you here. Kevin, there's no Dana, only Zool. That's absolutely true. I know that one.
That's right. That's a simple one. All right. So there's a couple ways when I have a reference image like this, there's a couple ways to go about this. It is kind of a 3/4, so I could potentially do like a match photo on here to start to get the general geometry, but it's such a simple geometry. If you guys remember the movie at all, this center box shape, it's like an extruded rectangle, is a majority of the trap. Very simple geometry. So it kind of makes sense to just kind of rough this in, get about the right size and shape, and then build the outer piece. So the outer piece is what the trap sticks into, and we'll kind of go from there, I think. I don't really feel the need to, exactly match this with match photo or anything like that. I'm just saying it is a possibility. If you guys came in here wanted to match with match photo, I would say go for it. But I think that's excessive for what I want to get done here. So I'm not gonna. All right. Like I said, I'm going to start with a rectangle. I'm going to mock these shapes up, and we'll look at the 3D model and spin it around and see if it kind of matches. Basically what I'm looking for is not exact perfect representation, but more like the proper aspect ratio, right? So like the box looks like the right width and depth, that kind of thing is what we're going to go for first. So I'm going to pull this up.
Nice. Doing a little sketch of it. That makes sense.
That's right.
Raphael asks if you're going to model the proton beam. I think not. That's not in the plan, but maybe if we have time at the end of the at the end of the stream.
We'll see what happens. Never say no, but probably no. Probably.
Why?
Oh, come on now. All right. I am going to make components as I make this because I want to name these pieces. So I don't see myself I'm not worried about scale either. I don't even have a scale for this, so I don't know how big it is. But yeah, so this is kind of the way I'm going to go about this.
Nice. Calvin's asking about the links to the reference images. Those are in the forum thread, which is in the description, the YouTube description. So just open up that description and you can get the link right to the thread there. Also, Lawrence was asking if you could design the model in such a way that you could quickly switch between open and closed. And there's a number of different ways you could do that. You could, put the geometry on different tags and then switch between, assign the tags to scenes and then switch between, an open scene and a closed scene. You could go the route of using a dynamic component for that kind of thing, and using the interact feature to do that. But yeah, there's a number of different ways.
Yeah, I think what makes the most sense, because I have fear of doing dynamic components live in front of people, is I'll probably go the direction of modeling the doors 2 different ways, and we'll just flip between them with layers. I think something like that probably makes most sense.
Yeah, I like it. Nice.
So again, just kind of modeling these shapes. Looks like it comes a little too far, maybe.
Nice. I like the the sketching by eye technique versus like trying to trace off an image. It's a lot more fun. It's more fun to watch, I think.
I was thinking about that, and I'm like, you know what this really is? This kind of feels like machine parts modeling without an accurate drawing. Like, one of the types of models we do on live modeling is what we've called machine part modeling, where we get CAD practice drawings and we model them down to like 0.01 millimeters, exactly matching the drawings. And I feel like this is like that, except I don't have any actual dimensions to match, so I can kind of wing it a little bit more, which I like.
Yeah, and that's the fun part.
Yeah, that's right. But I also like this because I think this feels like a very real way that I would go about. This is how I would use SketchUp. This is kind of just going, well, how does this look? How does this look? And just kind of playing with it. This feels very true to like how I would go about using this.
Yeah. And look, it's Ghostbusters. It's not taking itself very seriously. You don't have to model everything down to the millimeter.
That's exactly true. That's very, very true. So what I'm trying to do right now is kind of just, again, just still roughing in shapes at this point, but I'm also only doing half because the details, the outside details are different one side to the other. So I'm not going to put the details on, but just the outside piece, the carcass of the ghost trap, I only want to model once. So that's why I'm modeling it in half like this, and then I'll just flip it over before I make it its final component.
Nice. Also, Paul did say that this is what the crowd wants. This is Pitchforks, and they are demanding 100% accuracy, a kinetic opening, and ghost capture glow. So as long as by the end of the stream we have all that, then I'll be happy.
I had a boss once who would say, and I'm going to edit this because he was prone to maybe dropping in a non-PG word every once in a while when he spoke to me.
Beep. Family-friendly stream here.
He would say, want in one hand, spit in the other, see which fills up first.
Ooh.
He didn't say spit. It rhymed with spit, but that's not what he said to me. So, yeah, give that a shot and see how it works out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, I'm not kidding. That's going to happen.
No, but maybe we'll put the link on 3D Warehouse, and you can add those panaches.
That's right.
Later, as you wish, of course. Also, a bunch of people pointing out that you said the word layers earlier.
Already?
I didn't even notice it, but you definitely have to get that jar out.
One sec.
It's still in the office somewhere.
It's right here. I don't go very far from it. Yeah. All right.
Just
thanks, guys.
chock full of cash.
Oh man, I'm gonna literally be able to buy a boat by the end of the year.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
So I just today recorded a video, funny enough, talking about untagged, leaving geometry untagged specifically. And I had to force myself to talk about layer 0 in that because, we create these videos. We realize that there's people running older versions. So if there's something specific that happened on a previous version, I try to mention it. But I had to force my mouth to say the words layer 0 because my brain was like, no, it's untagged now. So something's happening.
I always liked layer 0. I'm like partial to layer 0.
It is kind of cool. It sounds like a
sci-fi movie,
sci-fi bad guy or something like a criminal group that would work against Flash Gordon or is James Bond or something? Yeah.
Oh no, that's their calling card. It's layer zero.
All right. So that's enough where I feel like I can. So if you ever get in this position where you got to delete all this stuff down the middle, what I'll do sometimes is something like this, where I'll look at it from the end, do a select, and that should only have selected those faces in the middle. Then I can just hit delete and keep the rest of my geometry. All right. Hey, it's looking pretty cool already. I feel pretty good about it.
Raymond does point out that we need to warn people not to watch this stream and any other stream because crossing the streams would be very bad. So that's a good point.
That. I respect that point. But like all serious movie warnings, don't cross the streams lasted about an hour of the movie, and then they did it.
Yeah, you got to set up the stakes somehow.
That's right. All right. There's the inside of our trap. Looking pretty cool.
Bill was asking, is that delete or shift delete? I think when you were deleting that middle extra line,
Just delete. Yeah, I just went like that. It's gone now. So if I turn on my show hidden, it's not, see, you can't actually tell a difference. Show hidden, I'm toggling on and off. You can see by Sumele's dress, I'm getting those hidden lines around her dress, but it's gone. They're gone. I don't need them. Again, it's not, I don't need you. I don't need anybody. It's not actually two separate pieces. I modeled a half of it, but then copied it over because it's going to get different detail. So at this point, it's fine if it's all one, and I'll make a new one and say, I'm going to call it the outer shell. Little meta joke there.
Nice. Solid tools. So does shift delete hide?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, that'll actually just hide the lines so they wouldn't be visible, but I wanted them gone. I don't need them at all. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. All right. So let's bring this over here a little closer to our drawing. So now I'm playing the game right now. I'm walking the line, you guys, where I could potentially grab this photo and do a watermark like I do and put it in the back. But I'm kind of liking the ability to come in here and zoom in real tight because I never realized that the doors actually have this kind of H shape. There's a little leg that sticks through this piece right here. See that? And they kind of cut in like that on both ends. So you can't see that if you have a watermark because it's just going to sit up in the corner. So that's kind of cool.
Good point.
I learned something today on accident.
That's more of a SketchUp knowledge, but still it's learning.
Yeah.
YouTube says layer 0 is like Talos 4. I don't understand that, but it's funny. Don, I like layer 0. Personally feel dumb saying it's on the untagged tag. Yeah.
So funny you mentioned that because that was exactly the bit of English polishing I had to do today because I couldn't say untagged it. Like that doesn't work. So what I came up with is you need to leave raw geometry untagged. So tag became a verb rather than a location, which like layers were. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because it's called untagged, but it is a tag.
Right. The tag's name is untagged, yeah.
Calvin asks, do hidden geometry lines affect the way a model 3D prints?
No. When you export an STL file, which is generally speaking the kind of file you spit out to pull into slicing software, that includes all geometry. So it's all there. It all exists. It's exactly the same. So it doesn't really matter. So basically what you're doing when you export is you're just exporting surfaces. So it just looks at all the surfaces, dumps that into the STL, triangulates everything, and that's what actually goes out to 3D printing. So hidden geometry, some people think that when you smooth geometry inside of SketchUp, you're basically just making a fake representation of that geometry on your screen. It doesn't actually change what's there. So if you have a hexagon and you go and smooth the sides, it looks like a cylinder. It's still a hexagon, and if you print it, it'll show up with those 6 sides. Good question, though.
It'd be cool though if you could smooth that and it would automatically smooth it on the print.
That's true.
No sanding needed.
That would be nice. Sanding, of course, is the very worst thing in the world. So that's true. It would be nice.
Yeah, not fun.
Nope.
Raphael, what kind of files can you import and export? There's a long list, and it varies by whether you have SketchUp Pro or like the web version or whatever version you're on. So, yeah, I don't know. What's the best way, do you think, to... Is there like a help thread I should look up, or should I...
I recommend going to File, and I'm not saying this tongue in cheek. Like, honestly, the easiest way is to go to File, Export, 3D Model, and then just click right here and read them. That's I always think is the easiest way to do it. So I apologize. I know that sounds sarcastic, but for real, that's how you do it.
Bill says, as a woodworker, sanding's a swear word.
Darn right.
Yeah.
As a 3D printer, I agree with that, because sanding plastic's even worse than sanding wood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I do...
YouTube points out that Talos 4 was part of the original pilot of Star Trek, original series. So nice. I learned that.
I love that we have like sound drops for learning. Like learning sounds like something here at SketchUp.
Anytime I'm like learning, if I'm in a class or I'm watching a video or something, that's what's playing in my head over and over.
I love that.
It's kind of annoying, but it's fun too. Jack says, this is the first time I've seen you online. Thanks for all your good, funny, and educational video.
Well, thank you very much.
Jack, hey, happy to have you here. Thanks for the praise. Definitely going all to Aaron. So
it's a team effort. It's I get to be the guy who stands in front of everybody and talks, but we definitely have a group that does all this. So
let's get another round of applause for Aaron.
You're right. Yeah, I'm missing. Okay, that's good. We'll make sure we do that every 20, 30 minutes, and then this
I have a timer set.
Nice, thank you.
As per your request.
That's right. Yeah, probably.
Or your writer. Need
Awesome.
constant praise. No, I'm saying this in jest. Of course, Aaron is nice man. I don't know.
Humble beyond reproach is what you're supposed to say right there.
Perhaps. Who knows?
Good stuff. All right. So I just did a little quick cleanup there. So I got this right here, and I put this inside of its own group, inside of the component. And then, because what I want to do is I want to come in here and model. I did that in the wrong spot. There we go.
Paul says, got to look after the talent. That's true. Hey, they bring the audience. You got to pamper them. Whatever you need, Mr. Dietzen, certainly.
That's right. And some people probably don't know that Matt kind of reports to me, so he has to really be nice to me.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, that's what he does a lot.
Ooh la la.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course. We have a lot of fun here, but it's all about the learning. That's really what's important.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that the ghost alarm?
Yes.
We got a
Echo
call.
Siren.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. See, that would be another fun model. And I think you guys should all request that of Tyson, doing the Ecto 1.
This is turning into a Ghostbusters stream every week.
That's right. Just until the movie comes out, then we'll go back to...
Yeah. Well,
Whatever.
till the next movie comes out after this movie.
That's true. That works.
Yeah.
All right. All right, there we go. So I think that looks pretty good for half the door. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this now. Copy that. Scale it to -1. Ran out of space there. And then drop it over here. And again, to delete those bisecting lines, just do a group select like this. As long as I go left to right, I get that solid select window. And then only the things that are all the way inside of it get selected, and then I can safely hit delete. If you do that, this has happened to me before, where I do that, I hit delete, and then all of a sudden all the faces that were supposed to be connected disappear. It means that maybe you didn't grab that second piece and butt it right up where it could join, or something in SketchUp was preventing it from joining together. You might have to go back through there and figure out why those pieces aren't tying together. All right, but there is a door, and then we'll take that. And I think I want to do this. I'm going to flip it this way. Oh, and that's something's not right. Oh, because I moved this. My first mistake ever, and you guys caught it here.
Birdum. Keggy, I like your comment, but unfortunately, you can't say words like that. But I was talking about how about our debate about the wallpaper.
That was a good one. That was got really.
We also
real.
have a podcast that we do brought to you by SketchUp, but it's called Donuts Design and Debate, and we every session we talk about a particular design and we debate back and forth and then let the audience vote on if they think it's a good design or not. Anyways, the last one we did was wallpaper, and it got a certain number of donuts that leaned more towards my side of the argument. So I don't know. That's what Keggy's deleted message was referring to. But hey, it happens. I bit the bullet on gentrification buildings.
And then we tied on Comic Sans, right?
Yeah, Comic Sans
right in the middle,
straight down the middle, 50%, which is not a passing grade, but
a lot less hate than you think.
Yeah,
or just a more compelling argument. One of the two.
I'll leave that up to the audience to decide. But
that's fair.
I know which way I swing on that.
I know what your biased opinion is.
Bill's asking about COVID numbers in North America. What do you think the chance of base camp in Vancouver going ahead is? Yeah, I wish we would know, like a percentage wise. Our plan right now is to move forward with it. Obviously, that was our plan for the 2020 event too. So, subject to change, and you can still, if you do buy a ticket, you can still get refunded up until like whatever it is, July of next year. So, we've built that uncertainty in a little bit, but yeah, we're optimistic, I suppose, cautiously optimistic. Is that would you agree with that?
I've abandoned all hope and I'm just planning on it. I've given up on caution. It hasn't helped me. I'm just too excited about it to be cautious. So yeah, I just want it. I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Just will it into existence.
Oh yeah, totally inappropriate amount of desire for it to happen. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, totally agree too. Basecamp. If you don't know, Basecamp is our every 2-year user conference, and it's going to be in Vancouver, late September of this coming year, 2022. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it will be a great time. As we said, we're willing it into existence.
That's right.
Raphael's asking if SketchUp is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux.
2 out of 3.
It is. There's 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Windows and Mac have a version, although there's also the SketchUp for web, which you can use in a browser, so you could use that on Linux certainly. But yeah, so those are where it's supported.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And Aaron, of course, is using the Mac desktop version of SketchUp Pro 2021 right now. So little differences in the versions between Windows and Mac and, web and stuff like that. But for the most part, the same experience.
Yeah, very, very similar. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm not alone in this by any means, but I cannot wait for Basecamp. I mean, I'm excited about it on a normal year, but when you consider a year that where it was like canceled after planning on it, now I'm like I'm stupidly excited, basically, is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I can't think straight. It's got to happen. I need it. I need it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then like, so I do like some of the video marketing on the team, and going back to the old event video and like looking at previous sessions and stuff like that to make promotional content for this, I'm like, oh yeah, it was like so much fun. The entire week, the entire experience, all the training stuff, but then the party and meeting all these fellow SketchUp lovers is just unmatched.
Yeah.
Unmatched, absolutely. So, and fireside chat was like a nice, in between experience.
It filled the gap. It filled the gap. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't hold a candle. No offense to fireside chat, doesn't hold a candle to how great Basecamp in person is and will be.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And just keying it, Matt, everything Matt said is absolutely true. You guys should definitely, if you have not come to Basecamp, you owe it to yourself to try to come this year. Like he said, especially if you are a SketchUp user on pretty much any level, there's something to be learned. It's worth going to for sure. But don't let what's going on with the world prevent you from buying your ticket early. Our tickets do, like most pretty much every event like this, they'll go up over time. But we do have a return policy. If COVID does strike, you're not going to be left out in the cold. We're not going to go, well, you bought a ticket, so too bad. We of course, there's a cancellation policy on the website you can read about. But yeah, if you have any desire to buy, get in there, buy a ticket, and then if the worst happens, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Bill's the one who's asking about COVID and Basecamp, and he says he's good with the refund for Basecamp, but the airfare for him was non-refundable, and so that's a barrier, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about that one.
Yeah,
but you can always buy your ticket for Basecamp now and purchase your airfare a little further down the line if that helps. I'm not pushing. Right. I'm just saying, like, now's a good time to buy because, like I said, we have a
early bird
you buy,
pricing.
the cheaper it costs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jack was asking, do you plan some Basecamp or something like this in Europe? So there have been like kind of satellite events in the past, but it's not, I don't know. Have we had like officially sanctioned base camps elsewhere?
Yeah. So outside the United States, what happens is we have our reseller partners. So the people who actually sell SketchUp outside the United States generally end up hosting those events. So it's not actually us who does it, but those groups, and they will generally host base camps. So, yeah.
So yeah, still a lot of fun, but the one in Vancouver will be the officially official.
That's right.
They're all official, but this is the official one.
Officialist.
Yeah.
The most officialist.
Calvin says, if he gets enough money, he's booking Basecamp no matter what. Sounds like an amazing time. Yeah, it definitely is. And a good, especially if you use, SketchUp professionally, like the return seems like a no-brainer to me for sure. But no matter what your use of SketchUp, like it's an absolutely great time, great, place to meet like-minded people, get, creative inspiration, and also obviously learn a lot about all SketchUp and SketchUp related activities.
Mm-hmm. That covered it. That was all of it.
Yeah, that's enough
promotion.
enough enough Basecamp plugs for now.
That's right. That's right. That's what I was expecting to hear. No, it's hard. It's funny because it's hard because we do like get super excited about it, and it's just so much fun. I mean, like we do this thing right here that we're doing, right, where we hang out with you guys on the weekends or on Friday afternoons, and we do some modeling, and that's cool. It's a great time. Don't never say anything to take away from this time together. It's awesome. But man, when we can actually hang out together and like see each other face to face, that's pretty awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
not to
totally
oversell.
agree. Raphael was asking how SketchUp handles spline curves, sweeps, inflatables, cloth. I think you can definitely do a search on our YouTube channel for organic modeling or something under that name. There's stuff you can do with native tools. There's stuff, obviously, a lot of people use like extensions for SketchUp to add to the functionality and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different options for that kind of modeling within SketchUp for sure.
All right, I got a little hex head screw here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and create it once, make a component, and I'm going to make it glue to a surface. I don't know if I'm gonna have others, so I'm gonna call it hex head small. And see how that sits on there like that. So if I'm gonna go ahead and grab that, and I'll copy one down here, and then I'll take both of these and take them across to here. And then what I can do is I can grab that hex head and I can put it on this side as well. Oh, but you know what I did? Since I made that flat, I screwed it all up. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Anybody who tells you that their favorite command is anything other than Control Z is probably a liar. I think undo should be every creative process. That's the best command.
Yeah, just clean it up.
That's
Go
right.
back. Back.
So I'm gonna change my axis. I'm gonna put it in the middle. Have the red go straight down. Green will come straight over. There we go. Yes.
And so this is because you modeled the world axis, and it was kind of on a little bit of an angle. It didn't sit exactly flat. So by changing the axis of the component itself,
right.
Now that
so now when I bring it over on the side, yeah, it jumps to the proper orientation like that. There we go.
Nice.
Cool. So I need to, put those in context here. So I want to put these on the opposite side in the exact same spot. So what I can do is select those two and this line, Control C, and then come over here, Control V, scale that to -1. Oh, there we go. Have my whole thing, and I can grab that line and drop it on that same spot. So it's an option I could have also used like a mirror command where I could have gone, and you guys have seen me do that before. I create my little flag and then mirror across it. This works in this case. Components, and grab another one. I'm gonna stick it right here.
So the glue option in the component just basically lets you, like, it snaps to the surface?
Yes, exactly. So that's why as I'm moving it, as I drop it on a surface, it automatically orients to that surface. I don't have to worry about like rotating it afterwards. So I told it glued the bottom to whatever surface I'm on. So that's why I dragged it in. It flipped upright this way and went horizontally this way.
That's great.
Thank you. So I'm going to take those and line it up with this line. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So they're in the same spot. I believe that was Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz talking about Is that when Peter got slimed?
Bingo. You got it.
I'll clap for me. All right.
Let's hear it for me.
This whole thing is so self-serving. All right, so it's hard to see these ones. They look like they're actually like maybe button head screws, a little different shape. So we'll create a separate component for that. But I'm starting to feel like I'm going to throw the handle on here and kind of call this initial massing done. I started to get into detail. I couldn't help myself. Because I want to look at it in some different orientations before I do too much detail to see if there's some spots I have to shift around, which means bringing in some additional photos. But right now, we'll come in here, and we're going to center this handle, of course. So I'm going to come back about that far, and I'm going to, again, try to draw half of this first handle piece.
Smart. Model smarter, not harder.
That's right.
Chris says, haven't done any modeling this month. Need to get back to it.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hopefully maybe this stream will give you some inspiration to pick up those push-pulls again.
Or what
Bill
not to
was
do.
Asking,
That would work
what's
too.
that?
I said, or it'll like remind you what not to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't want to get back in there. I mean,
That guy.
I'll start modeling screws before I even should do it. Let's see. Bill was asking if you could have used option copy and flipped around axis for the screws. I think that works too, right? Flip along components green or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, option move is going to copy it. That would copy it, but it won't. It'll always be in the same spot. But yeah, I could use flip along. The problem with flip along is it flips it around the axis of the selected geometry. So when I had these two copied over here, I could use that to flip it. But to get like these guys over to here, flip along wouldn't have worked because it would have taken a screw and it would have just put it right on top of itself.
Right. Okay.
So kinda is the answer to that. Sort of, yes.
It depends.
That's right.
Studio Article says, Bill Mitchell said in the 80s when the Mac was a new thing that one wishes life had an undo button.
True, man, so true. I've tried it.
Yeah.
Actually, where it gets me is when I try to do some, like some conventional drawing, like on paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's just no undo there, turns out.
Yeah, eraser is just not the same.
Nope. But in all seriousness, I don't know how many people out there have ever tried to like swipe or zoom a paper book before. That's one of my favorite things that I do. And I'm like, oh, it's just so sad.
Oh, that's funny. Paul says one thing that he really gets from the tutorials and live streams is the use of sacrificial or similarly aligned geometry to help build parts and align them. I think like you did with that one extra piece of line that you used to kind of align stuff on the copy.
Yeah, and that's different for everybody. Some people are much better about using geometry or using like guides or that kind of thing. I just have never really gotten into guides very much, but some people really use them well and don't sacrifice geometry. That's a good term to use. For me, it's kind of a standard. It's, one of the things it's this double-edged sword of SketchUp is we have so many people who are self-taught, who taught themselves how to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm self-taught. I'm pretty sure Tyson was self-taught, but it ends up leading to some unique workflows, and you do stuff in ways you wouldn't think of. And I really think that's a strength that SketchUp has. It's just really cool in that you can do things how you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Keggy says, I am the key master. So that's a good one for sure.
It works. That's nice.
Jack says, do you know what's the future plan for SketchUp and use in game modeling? I see 2021 isn't supported in Unity. So I think there are some like kind of intermediate file formats that you can use, OBJs or something like that you can get into Unity. depending on your workflow. Future plans are hard for us to talk about because, first of all, we're just the video guys. We don't really know that kind of stuff. But also because, Trimble is a publicly traded company, we can't really talk about future plans without affecting, without having some, I don't know what you call that, financial something.
Yeah.
This
It's
is why we
related
don't
to
talk about it, 'cause I
insider
don't even know how to
trading or
talk
something. I don't know. Yeah. Basically, we're told not to do it, and so we don't.
Yeah.
Dumb it down too much, but that's kind of how it works with Matt and I, at least. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just
Don't talk
stay
about
away.
that. Okay.
But there are people who use SketchUp for game design stuff. I don't exactly know a good place to point you right now for that, but
so one thing to note with that specific question, asking about exporting because 2021 file format's not available, SketchUp can downsave all the way back to version 3. So if you're in 2021 and you're working with a program that needs a 2020 version of the SKP file, you can always go to File, Save As, and choose that 2020 version. So you can always back up. But like Matt said, the other option is to use other file formats as intermediaries. We've had so many questions where people have gone, oh, this software has 1 million users. Why don't you guys create their file formats? We get asked that half dozen times a week, different file formats. It's too much. So we stick with the most popular file formats that people use as intermediaries. So that's why we say things like, we'll try DXF or OBJ or a DAE file, because those are usually read and written by other files or other programs. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah. SketchUp has always kind of been open and trying to, work with other softwares easily, and intermediary file formats is a way to do that for sure. Hassan says, I love this software. Oh, that's nice. Aw.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The hell?
That was E.T. saying thank you when he's dressed up as a ghost.
Thank you.
Not
Ghost,
exactly
I saw
clean.
Ghost. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Raphael says FBX. He comes from Unreal, and FBX is a usable format across. Colin says Unity themselves added SKP support, but they haven't updated for a while. You can still save as to 2019 or earlier, and those work in Unity. So like you were talking about, save as. Chris Scott says Unity bought Weta Workshop for $1.8 billion, which seems cheap. Yeah, I saw that news come across, and I was like,
Oh boy.
it's mucho Dolores.
This word you say, I do not think it means what you think it means. Dolores?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
Chat back me up. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's cool that Weta is part of Unity for sure. So we'll get some, Lord of the Rings characters or something in SketchUp soon. I don't know. Are there any common bad habits that self-taught SketchUp users develop? Certainly. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, not going to campus is probably the worst thing you could do as a self-taught. I mean, I'm saying that tongue in cheek, of course. It's absolutely cool that people are self-taught. And like I said, I know so many users who are self-taught, and that's great. I don't think there's any reason to feel bad about it. But just because you taught yourself doesn't mean you have more to learn. That's one of the things that occasionally people will go, well, I already know everything I need to know. You don't know because you don't know. So I recommend check out Campus. If you're self-taught, go onto Campus, learn.sketchup.com, take the fundamentals course. If you're self-taught, then maybe you might have a good grasp on 50 to 60% of what SketchUp can do. And you'll get that other, another 30, 40% by taking those courses. So yeah, it's good.
For sure. It's
not disparaging. It's good that you taught yourself.
Yeah. Campus is like the one-stop shop, everything, comprehensive training. So cover everything. Because if you're self-taught, there's going to be some gaps, and that's a good way to pave those over and fill those in for sure. And when you were talking about, things that you don't know, I thought that was very Rumsfeldian of you. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Unknown unknowns, of course. Let's see. Bill says guides are a personal choice. He loves guides, but has learned to get rid of them as soon as possible after using them. And he set up a shortcut key to clear guides.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a good workflow for sure to know what you like and how to clean it up quickly. Paul says it's mostly used for fast prototyping, large scale level of detail and object creation in the games company I'm in, but not used a lot past that. Nice, yeah.
We've always talked about SketchUp as being part of the toolbox. That's a big piece of what we encourage people with also.
Yeah, for sure. Lawrence says you're like a sewing machine, or maybe SketchUp is like a sewing machine for you. I think because you were stitching by hand.
Yeah, I did a little cleanup there. Autofold is great, but there's some spots where I'm like, I want to do an even break around geometry, but if your vertices don't match, it won't do that. But that's easy enough to stitch something this low quality.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got two main pieces right now. I'm just going to throw in some of these little details. This is when the fun stuff's going to happen. So I got a little warning light here. I got a little toggle switch here. I'm just going to go ahead and model them real quick right now. It looks like these actually are a little further out.
And we got Tyson in the chat too. He says about the beginners, if they're missing out on anything, make sure to learn inference locking and know everything about groups and components and how to use them. That's a great call.
I'll back that up all day. It's amazing the number of people who, there's certain things you just assume everybody knows. But yeah, the amount of people who don't know that you're supposed to use groups and components, that's a big one. It's very important.
Yeah, for sure. And inference locking makes your life so much easier too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like it's interesting to watch other people model because they do inference. Like there's so much things, ways you can use it, that watching other people use it, or taking the course and knowing exactly every way you can, just lets you speed up your process and do things you could never do before. So yeah, great call.
All right. So I'm just I drew a circle on the ground. I'm just gonna use this circle to follow me with this shape. So that'll give me a real quick, actually no, before I do that, I'm gonna grab that in this, and I'm going to make that into a component. I'm call it a red light. And then I'm gonna go in there and do this in context. So grab that, tools, follow. I got a shortcut key for that. I keep forgetting that. That's not what I wanted. Let's turn off everything else.
Kunal says his bad habit was forgetting to use tags. Yeah, for sure. It's a common one. We should have like not a grieving session, but like a no shame zone at base camp where people can air all their,
self-taught
their embarrassing
anonymous
facts about. Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like my biggest thing, what I did not do well for years and years and way too long, too long, is I really had a habit of, or I didn't know about smoothing. So if an arc or anything ever broke, I would delete it and draw it again. And I had to rework stuff over and over again. It was terrible. It's bad news. So yeah, it was cool to find out that that's not how it's supposed to be. Like you can smooth things. Just a simple modifier key.
Yeah. Oh, it's just that easy.
It's just that easy.
Chris Scott says he learned SketchUp in lockdown. Nice.
Nice.
It's a good time for it.
That's awesome.
That's sweet. What are you modeling up, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, this is something I don't know. Brad asks, how does current SketchUp run under Rosetta 2 emulation on latest and greatest M1 Pro Max Silicon? Do you know that?
That is in process.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, we got kind of a late jump on the M1 stuff, but I really can't say anything more than that because I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. And you got people asking for saving the model, of course.
I already saved once. What do you guys want from me?
One and done.
All right. I saved again.
Fine save.
Thank you very much. That was actually a lot closer than I thought. Okay.
Paul was asking, how big is the model scale-wise at the moment?
I think the proper scale currently is hella big. Yeah. That's a person size.
Yeah, that is a lot of ghosts can fit in that one.
That's right.
I was gonna get the quote of, "That's one big Twinkie," but I didn't get that.
You knew you knew that
I knew we
would
were
happen.
gonna be modeling a larger scale. Yeah,
That's right.
YouTube was saying that your button looked like a fez. That red little
fair.
light thing that you made. Let's see. Cohen says, is there a ridge on that red regulator?
This little thing? Oh, I didn't put ridges like down the side or anything like that. I didn't texture it. It looks like there might be. That's
yeah.
that is definitely a phase 2 kind of detail.
Future. Yeah.
Not opposed to it by any means, but I might come back to something like that as I do this. So
Good call.
with this detail, this is one of those, I don't have to be super detailed with it because it is so small. So what I'll do is for the top of this little toggle switch, I'll just do this offset and scale and then smooth it out. For here, the switch does taper a little bit. So I'll just grab this circle that I left here, scale that. Oops. Scale it in like that a bit. That's going to give me the look of that toggle switch with less geometry. And I can come in here too and I can grab this, grab just the edges, whoops. And I can say soften and smooth those. Now we have that, which again is going to be okay considering that's how you'll see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We talk a lot about the end use of your model and what level of detail you need to go to and stuff like that. And these are good tips for making it look good enough at the scale you're going to see it at, for sure.
Right. Well, that's another problem we talked about. Things that people are into if they're self-taught is model maintenance when it comes to things like oh, hey, how's it going?
Do you need to fill that air with some...
Thanks.
Here we go. We got some kind of sounds we can... Nope, I'm a little bit late on the uptake here, but...
Okay. Being conscious of model as far as like keeping your model usable, a usable size. Because that's one of the big things that people self-taught, they don't think about things and they start grabbing stuff from 3D Warehouse, modeling detail into something that's going to show up as 3 pixels in their final image. So modeling to the appropriate level of detail for the model use is a big important thing that we do try to stress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Christoph says he also learned in lockdown, mostly for 3D printing, but also general technical drawings. Nice. That's cool. It's good to see that so many people got kind of a positive out of the time when you're, kind of cooped up and afraid of the world, or at least I was, that you can spend it doing something productive. That's cool. Hassan says, I've been using mice for years. Zoom in, zoom out's really hard. We couldn't get a control keyboard. Yeah, great to use a mouse with SketchUp. 3-button scroll wheel mouse is
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Colin says SketchUp runs pretty well on his M1 Max that arrived yesterday. Ooh, nice. Congratulations on the fresh computer. Ooh, nice. Is that a computer sound? I don't know. Oh, wait, here we go. And you're...
Wow, M1's going back to dial-up. Just let you guys know.
Brand new computer.
Elon Musk is working on the Skynet thing, and Apple's going to dial-up.
I wondered what those phone line plugins were, but they know what they're doing. Manga Drawing says they learned SketchUp to create backgrounds for web comics. It's been fun. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I know there's a couple sketch or comic folks who use SketchUp for their settings and kind of
That's very cool.
details and stuff. That's awesome. Love to see some of your work. Drop a link in the chat, and I'll make sure to check it out.
My two screws look very similar in plan view. I just want to throw this out real quick. I did create this button head screw that looks like what was used over here. Here it looks like it's hard to tell. It looks like it's a hex head, but it's much bigger. What I can do here is I can grab one of these, come throw it in. It's tiny, it's not big enough, but what I can do is I can place it, and then if I stay on the outside, I can hit scale, and I can scale that up. As long as I stay on the outside of the container and I'm scaling up the outside of the component, it's not going to affect any of these other ones. These guys didn't get bigger because this one did, because I'm scaling the outside. So you can reuse components that way without, potentially causing issues to your existing geometry. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's good to know what context you're in whenever you're editing geometry at all,
Right.
for sure.
Be very careful.
Chris Scott says he's working in a house restoration series for BBC and underestimated his task. Oh yeah, hey, it's nice to to go challenge yourself and work outside of your boundaries. So it's good to be
Absolutely.
scared
It's
of
good.
your work.
There's some inspirational quotes about how, if you're not afraid, you're probably not growing or something like that.
Mm.
Somebody somewhere could say something supportive about that.
Hey, we can say is that we feel your pain.
That's right. I've definitely
John
been there.
said, yeah. Hi from Scotland. Hey, John. Thanks for drawing. Hassan, thanks for the tips. Yeah. Oh, you are welcome. It all goes to Aaron for sure. Let's see. Gon says, any news about layouts, laggy performance? It says SketchUp works like a dream, no matter the size of the model. Yeah, I mean, depends on how exactly you're using layout. There's obviously, like with SketchUp, ways to kind of optimize your performance in there. But I know that's something the layout team is always looking to improve, of course, as well. But yeah, that's what I would say for that. Christoph says he's the one who tagged you, Aaron, in the post on LinkedIn for his article on 3D printing in medical education, and that your videos taught him a lot.
That's awesome. I apologize if I didn't say anything back, or maybe I liked it. I don't know. I'm not very good at LinkedIn, I'll be honest.
I've not logged into LinkedIn since I was looking for jobs.
It's been a while. That's cool. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you, Christoph. Absolutely. Bill says he got fed up with models in 3D Warehouse, downloading from 3D Warehouse and modifying them, and now builds everything on his own, but does use 3D Warehouse for reference. Yeah, there's definitely a fine line between, you get to a certain point where it's just faster to make it yourself than kind of deal with whatever, because like we said, there's a lot of different ways to do stuff, and maybe they did model something poorly, or maybe it's just set up in the way that they are used to organizing the model and stuff, and you're just not used to it, so it's easier just to get it set up yourself for sure. Let's see. Are you sizing the hex heads to line up with actual Allen keys or just for aesthetics? I can jump in and say, probably just for aesthetics.
Matt's got it.
We're here for looking cool today.
That's
and
right.
If I do say so, Aaron looks very cool.
That's right.
Does SketchUp offer a free version for students? I don't exactly know the answer for that. I know we have SketchUp for schools and there's a discount for students, but what is the correct answer for that?
Yes. If you look at our website, we actually have a couple pages. We refer to a lot of times our EDU program, our educational program. We do offer discounts for schools, but it really depends. If you are part of, I shouldn't even say it because I don't fully get how all that works. But yeah, we do offer discounts and a special version. So primary education can get access to SketchUp for Schools, which are online version. Higher education can get access to versions of Pro for discount, but I don't know exactly how that works. So I would check out our website, and maybe Matt can poke around and find a good link for that at some point. But
yeah,
there.
Flavius, the best place is to go to just sketchup.com, and then if you hover over the plans and pricing, that's where you can select between higher education and primary and secondary, depending on what you're looking for. Cool. Transom, howdy from the rainy Pacific Northwest. Good to see you again. Thanks for tuning in, of course. Ellis said, I made a dog crate there, I assume in SketchUp, and it turned out pretty well. Nice. That's good to hear. 2504. I love SketchUp. Nice. Straight and to the point.
I love this place.
That's always good to hear. Lawrence, sorry, I'm just kind of reading through the comments here. Lawrence says, agreeing with Bill that some models on Warehouse do look great, but are bad models for reuse into your own models. They could be good on your own, but if you're multiplying a sink across an entire apartment complex, it doesn't need to be, 20,000 polygons or whatever. Leslie fell in love with SketchUp program using it in college interior design program. It allows me so much freedom to create and design. I had to teach myself most of it during lockdown. That's awesome. It's an inspirational story. I love to hear it, of course. And yeah.
That's awesome.
Great. So cool. Christoph did say you liked the LinkedIn post.
Okay. It was one of those things where, context, I was like, but then as I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, maybe that does sound familiar. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Chris is asking about favorite renderer. Maybe that's a good debate topic is what's the best renderer, because there's no good answer for it. And you could be just as passionate on any side. So I'll let folks in the chat drop their favorite renderers for sure. Somebody mentions Lumen. Yeah, a lot of good ones. Christoph says GrabCAD is a good place for models to share and download, and there's a lot of SketchUp users on there. I don't know if I've been on GrabCAD before. Have you?
I don't know what that is. Is that actually like a I don't know.
Making additive manufacturing at scale possible. That's what their website says.
All right.
Open software platform. Yeah. I've not heard of it, but cool. I'm checking out their website right now.
So real quick note here on what it is doing. These pieces do kind of round over. So I was thinking, well, I could do a follow me and actually, make that round or make a spherish shape. That would all work. But like I was saying before, given that this is going to be awful teeny tiny, I kind of feel like the better way to go about this is to just do a quick manual folding here. And then I can grab these edges around here. And, I need to do this. Actually, now that I'm doing this, I think it's going to end up being more work than I... Never mind. I take that all back. Hold on.
Here's what I'm gonna do. You could do it that way if you wanted to.
One could. All right, let's go back to just these flat things on here. Ha! I'm kidding. It was a joke.
Well, in the meantime, when you're working on those, somebody asked about the wizard device on the left side of your laptop. And that is the 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. They have a couple different products. Aaron's using the Enterprise version, but it's just like a another input device for SketchUp. It's not necessary to use SketchUp, but those smooth moves that you see him use definitely come from the 3D mouse. Good for presentation, and I think you would say that there's a certain point that you get to in your modeling where being able to use the mouse to kind of navigate really easily inside and outside of geometry and kind of move while you're selecting or going to a different tool or something like that just gives you a little more flexibility when you're modeling, and definitely gives you those nice smooth moves too. So it's another benefit of the 3D mouse.
Yep, absolutely.
Raphael says ArtStation is where he puts free stuff. I assume like models and things upload. So yeah,
Sure.
It's another good resource for sure.
ArtStation's great, yeah. All right, so I've reached this point. These actually look like they come out a little bit more. Hold up. One thing I do, I guys have caught this, but I am swapping the show hidden geometry or show other geometry when I open it or go into a group on and off quite a bit. That's definitely something it's become one of my favorite shortcuts, is the ability to just turn everything off when you're inside of geometry.
Nice. And that is hide rest of model, right?
That's the one, yeah.
View component edit hide rest of model. And you can do a shortcut for that, obviously, as Aaron had. What's your shortcut for it again?
Shift Q.
Shift Q.
Which it is mapped to my space mouse too. So I just hit this button right up here, which is nice because I don't even have to take my hand over onto the keyboard.
Look at that.
All right, so here we are. We're about an hour into the model, and it looks like this. Feeling pretty good. Because I feel like we have three sides. There's like a nipple connector kind of thing here. And then I think there's some dials and stuff, and there's stuff on the other side, which I think is going to give us enough time to throw together a quick foot pedal too. So kind of cool. We're in this space. We'll see. We may have to make a call between putting all the colors on. Nah, colors will go quick. Never mind. Shut up. Don't be a wimp. All right.
I think at this point we can definitely say from looking at that geometry that
It's a trap.
Oh,
a ghost.
I didn't wear my
trap.
It's a Trap shirt. That would have worked.
I had to slip in a Star Wars reference, at some point. Very big Star Wars fans, of course, on the stream, and a lot of past streams with Star Wars content, so had to be done.
You did it. All right. So as we look at this end, and see we got, I don't know what this thing is. It's a big chunky switch or something, and then a couple more screws, a couple dials. I am seeing my geometries not quite perfectly in line, even if I look down like this. This guy right here is definitely taller, and it looks like where I have my doors kind of just laying down flat, it does look like they're elevated up, which means I'm going to be able to stretch this out a little bit more. So let's hop in here and do that real quick. We'll take these and we'll bring them up. Just going to move them on the blue axis. So I'm just going to pull them up kind of arbitrary amount right now to begin with. Looks like they need to be thicker too.
Yeah, you got to hold them ghosts, and you really got to be heavy duty. YouTube points out about the space mouse. You don't know you need a space mouse until you have a space mouse.
I don't think truer words have been spoken right there then. That's so very true.
J Timbo, love this channel.
I love this place.
Thanks for saying so.
J Timbo. Thanks for having that name. I like that too.
Yeah. You ever wear Timbos? Timberland boots?
I'm not tough enough to pull that off.
I've never worn them either, but I always wanted to. They look cool.
They look good on some people. Yeah.
You could stomp around in some Timbos.
I think that's mandatory, right? You get your Timberlands on, you start stomping. That's just how it works. All right,
Unlaced
that looks
and loud.
That's right. All right. Cool. That looks closer. A little more meat there on that thing. Cool. And this actually, I'll take this up just a skosh.
Blue Blanky says, my Space Mouse recently stopped working when installing Datasmith for Twinmotion. You don't know how much you use it till it's gone.
It is, oh my gosh, that is the truest thing. So we create two forms of recurring content. We create the skill builder, which Matt has played the music for. That's the one. And then we also create square ones, which are geared at like more introductory, like how do I draw a line, that kind of thing. For the skill builders, I pretty much operate in this setup right here. Like I'll just spin around. It's not really as much about what shortcut keys you use. It's more about more intermediate concepts. For square ones, though, it's supposed to be geared at beginners, so I don't use the 3D mouse. I try to do everything, like this.
One hand tied behind your back.
I literally have to move the 3D mouse out of my reach because I can't even help it. I'm like, all right, no matter what you do, don't use the 3D mouse. Okay. It happens that quick. Yeah.
It's like when you turn your phone off and then you immediately look at your phone again.
Yeah. Oh,
Close Facebook, open Facebook.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's funny. Some people talking about renders. Somebody said they're definitely going to check the 3D mouse out. Simon, evening all. Apologies for being late. I'm being dad's taxis tonight. Nice. Well, thanks for popping in. Appreciate you being here. Studio RT, cool. Finally got a Space Mouse almost a year ago, and now I'm glad I did. Just the basic model, though. Yeah, you can definitely get the puck, and I think there's like a wireless version too, right?
Right. There's a handful of different versions. There's so like I said, this is the Space Mouse Enterprise right here, but there's also a Space Mouse Pro, which I think has like 4 buttons on it or 8 buttons, a smaller set of shortcut keys. And then there's also one that's just the puck. And I think both those come in wireless versions as well. So yeah, there's definitely options.
Nice. We definitely need to get sponsored by 3D Connection.
I need a kickback on that. Yeah.
They basically all do the same thing, just extra shortcut keys. Is that correct?
Yeah, because the thing you lose by having your hand over here as a SketchUp user, it takes your hand away from the shortcuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can get to any command by just coming up here and saying, wherever I'm going to go into tools and then click what I want, or I could turn on buttons, that kind of thing. But shortcut keys, most people who use SketchUp efficiently will agree that shortcut keys are where it's at. That's the quickest way to get in and out of commands. It's hard to argue it too because my finger tapping A, no matter what I do, is quicker than me going up here and clicking this and then returning back to where I was. So shortcut keys are important, and you lose that when your hand's over here on the puck. This middle part's called the puck. That's the part that controls everything. So having shortcut key buttons around it is where it makes up for that. So if you have just the puck, it's fine. You can move around 3D. I think you have 1 or 2 buttons on that, but you are end up hopping over for shortcut keys or using mouse shortcuts instead. But the big difference is that ability to use those pieces.
Mm-hmm. Great call out. Keggy says, I try to think of the most harmless thing, something I loved from my childhood, something that could never, ever possibly destroy us. Mr. Stay Puft.
It just popped in there. What? What just popped in there? Oh, so good. I think I'm going to have to watch Ghostbusters this weekend, like for real.
Yeah. There needs to be like a Ghostbusters day, so every year you can watch it. It's one of those ones that deserves the attention.
I gotta say, I'm a Paul Rudd fan anyhow. I think Paul Rudd seems like a pretty cool guy, and everything I've read about him, I have this issue with celebrities where I really have a problem with the pedestal that people put celebrities on. So
I thought you were going to say your problem with them is that you get obsessed with them and you love them.
Well,
I can't stop following them.
I don't stalk anymore because it's too expensive to fly back and forth from LA all the time.
Sure, yeah.
But in that context,
but no, you don't appreciate the celebrity culture and
it's
deification and all that kind of stuff.
I think I've met a few people who would be considered famous, and they're people, right? They're normal people. I know some people are like, upper echelon, and like, you know, you got Beyonce or Madonna or somebody who up here who like walks on angel bodies or whatever. I don't know. But I think he seems like everything I've seen about him says he's really pretty down to earth, which I think is cool. And he's apparently he's just funny. Like you think he is, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I started watching his show with Will Ferrell. I think it's on Apple. It's Shrink Next Door.
That's on my list. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. It's an interesting show for sure.
It's based on a true story too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that part of it is crazy. Catherine Hahn's in it. Casey Wilson, a lot of great folks. Gosh, I feel like I gotta get caught up on the chat now. Manga Drawing says, how do you normally save your files in order to organize them better? So they say that they name, like, put a number before 1 table, 2 chair. I guess if they're working on an entire scene and they have different SketchUp models, how do you work when you're working on kind of a larger project?
Yeah, I don't stress too much about that, because if I'm working something where I want to navigate through a lot of pieces, I use Outliner, and I'm a big fan of nesting, which I'm already doing. So like this piece is one piece. If I go into that, now I have some separate pieces. I would probably grab all these chunks right down here and make that a group. So it becomes less of an issue as far as content inside the model. If I'm talking about things I'm going to be reusing, like these pieces over here, I generally have my component window set to tiles like this, so I see the picture, so the name doesn't matter quite as much. So I've never really worried too much about that. I've also never had to do a whole lot of models where I had like part numbers I had to keep track. Well, not for years. It's been a long time since I had to worry about part numbers or something like that. But so for me, as long as I can identify it by an image, and then I properly nest my groups, then that's really kind of how I do that. That's a good question, though.
Yeah, good question for sure. Keggy says, who are you going to call? So that's good. And Lawrence... Lawrence says that, Aaron, you are on his pedestal. He put you on a pedestal as a celebrity, the creator, influencer, celebrity that you are. So, well, I can hear the paparazzi now.
Come on, guys.
Please, no photos.
It's my home. Well, just to prove I'm a normal guy, come to base camp and I'll let you buy me a beer or something.
You're more like a game show host.
Wow. I cannot believe you just happen to have that laying around. Oh, that's good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Very nice. Also, of course, here in the U.S., Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We won't have a stream next week because this coming next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So spend, of course, Black Friday with the families there. But I wanted to remind everyone to
baste the turkey often.
So, some Thanksgiving related reminders and tips here.
You heard it here, folks. Whoa, that was like space turkey.
Turkey in space.
Oh.
Okay. Oh boy.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
YouTube says Aaron is quite the celebrity at 3D Basecamp. Yeah, that's true. Hey, anybody who has a life-size IRL scale figure, you can say that you're on the VIP list probably at Basecamp.
You've made it. That's a big deal right there.
Yeah. We should do a competition that somebody from our chat, somebody from our audience here gets to have their own scale figure.
Ooh, I like that.
Face Me 2D component at Basecamp.
Write that down. We should circle back on that one.
That's an idea that I learned. We are going to circle. We're going to circle back on
I love this place. This place is ridiculous.
Okay.
Anyhow. All right. I'm going to bring in the next side. we're gonna, we're gonna swing around it over here. So we'll do that.
It is really coming along, by the way.
Yeah, this is a fun model, and I just want to, like, we're talking about self-taught and that kind of stuff, and I think we've had a lot of good. I'm going to grab both these guys and make them into another group. We've had a lot of good input. I appreciate Tyson chiming in there. Tyson is the guy who does. He's responsible for the courses up on campus. He's not the only one who makes them, but he's kind of the guy who's that's his primary focus, is keeping campus up and running, full of good information. But dang, I introduced him so hard, I forgot what I was going to say. I hope you're happy, Tyson. See what you did? Hold on, what was I doing?
Just getting ready for Tyson's applause break.
Got it. Okay. Welcome back to the show.
Hey.
I do recommend people, when you are self-taught especially, you will hit a mesa. No matter who you are, how many videos you watch, you'll start like this. Here's your learning curve. You're good. You're getting the hang of it, and then you kind of hit this thing where you get a workflow put together, and then you'll end up plateauing like this because you know how to do what you want to do, and you keep doing it. You get better and better at it, but new stuff's not coming in. So I haven't said this for a while, but what I highly recommend for people is modeling something that's nothing to do with what you're using SketchUp for primarily. So if you're using it for architecture, model some entourage or a car or something. If you're using it for product design, go design your dream house. Pick something that's going to push you outside of your normal workflow. So this is a perfect example. I've never modeled a ghost trap before. And this is really cool because it's definitely like, how to do this, how would you do this, what's the quickest way to do this? And it's kind of gets you thinking outside of your normal workflow on how to do stuff. So just 2 cents worth of unasked for free advice. Pick something you think would be fun to model, and then spend your lunch time, half an hour each day, working on that model. It's a really good way to broaden what your capabilities inside of SketchUp.
Yeah, free your mind.
That's right.
Expand your parameters. Keggy says, "Sorry, Venkman, I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought." True.
Ray's gone bye-bye.
This city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. It's funny. Like when you look at films from when you grew up, you haven't watched them for like 10 years and go back and you still know every single line. It's just
every inflection and every the timing.
Nowadays, I can't remember where I park my car at work, but I can probably recite Goonies to you. So
right.
that's where I'm at.
You got the truffle shuffle just burned into your brain. Lawrence says, if you want to make a SketchUp avatar of me, I look a lot like Brad Pitt. And you know what I have to say to that? That don't impress me much. Okay. He also says that yellow/orange thing is an aluminum clad power resistor. Nice. Learning every day.
Got a little heat sink going on here. That's pretty cool. I do love me some Hollywood kit bashing, though. I will say that. That is one of my favorite things to see, is when you look at props and you're like, hey, I have that pen.
Yeah. Well, ghosts run hot. You got to have the heatsink, of course.
Of course.
Bill says, nesting and hide caught me out. Unhide didn't work until resuming the level of nesting I was at. I found an outliner, so I used tags to toggle on and off group visibility. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes stuff can get mixed up and you don't know the visibility that's going on. So yeah, outliner is a good way to get to the bottom of if something's going funky in your model.
That's a great call.
Paul says, reflecting on your conversations and the number of time quotes and references are from when you were growing up is hilarious when you look at it without the context, without the assumed knowledge. People come in completely blind and just laughing like an idiot for no reason. It's like, why are these people just saying nonsense over and over?
I mean, it's a great way to spend a Friday afternoon. I'll just say that. That's
Yeah, reliving your childhood one line at a time. We were aging ourselves out of the YouTube demographic. A lot of people use
true.
YouTube, but probably shouldn't use the same on TikTok. Maybe who knows?
That's right. I sure love that Harry Styles. Is that a thing we use? And I don't know. What do the kids do nowadays?
They love that Harry Styles, of course. Right. You know. Raymond says rather than Goonies, it's the 1985 Clue movie with the incomparable Tim Curry.
I do.
Yeah, that's
love Clue. Yeah,
the cult classic. He says you wore out 2 VHS cassettes of Clue.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
that's
keep
awesome.
it going.
I can't cook a Thanksgiving dinner.
And now we know where Matt's at.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. I can't cook anything. Actually, my specialty that I usually make at Thanksgiving time is sweet potato casserole. Not casserole, but sweet potato. It's a sweet potato dish, mashed sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top.
You know, I've of course had that, seen it, and I think anybody who says that's not a dessert that you have with your dinner is a liar.
There's a lot of butter. There's a lot of brown sugar.
Yeah.
And then you top it off with marshmallows. But it's good, you know, you have to mix up the sweet and the savory. You can't go all savory, folks.
I can't argue with that. I agree.
Gravy for turkey.
You know, so there's a lot to consider.
I'm just wondering how much your wife's going to appreciate when you have all these sound drops queued up for actual Thanksgiving dinner.
Do you guys have a Bluetooth speaker I can borrow over here?
All right, I'll hook something up on my regular speakers. Never mind.
Just bring my own setup here. Can I plug into your system?
Baste the turkey often.
My father-in-law's like, turn that off.
Really, Lauren? Really? All right.
You can sit outside for Thanksgiving dinner.
Welcome to the family. All right. So for this little heat sink here, I'm going to draw a profile of it using the actual drawing. And then I will push-pull it down. So something like...
Nice. And this is like a machine, similar to the machine part models where you get the dimensions exactly from the drawings themselves and, you know, making sure that this is a replica prop that, you know,
That's right.
it's going to be used. So, no, imperfect, but that's what we love about Ghostbusters is the shagginess and the imperfections.
That's right. All right, and then I'm going to grab this stretch right here.
Stretch, a good reminder at home. If you've been sitting down for a while, long day at work, you know, you're on the couch, don't forget to stretch.
Excellent point. Too true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lawrence also is begging you, don't forget the wheels.
Okay. Can you find a picture of that? Because I know it rolls on something. I have no idea what it is. So I'll do that if you give me a picture of it. How's that? Bring it on, Lawrence.
Drop the image in the forum thread.
So
Lawrence, we're all counting on you.
You can kind of see. Oh, that right there is a Airplane quote.
Yeah. Just wanted to tell you
Listen, Nielsen.
both. Good luck.
We're all
We're
counting,
counting on you. I try not to get like joke quotes because then it's like, what am I even doing? I'm just getting funny lines and playing them. But, sometimes you gotta. So,
All right. So with this heat sink, I got a decent profile. Obviously, it's not the right size, but if I can get it, yeah, looks like it's just past the screw head. I'll scale that down. It's actually a lot smaller than that. And then I'll come in here.
Paul has some nice words here. Another great presentation. Want to say a massive thank you for the architecture extension inspection video. Brilliant. He says, keep up the good work. So much fun watching you work while I'm sat on the sofa. And then he reminds you to save.
Save.
Thanks for that one, Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul, for both the comment and the reminder.
Yeah, appreciate it. Very nice words.
All right. So it looks like I got these button head screws kind of, or what I'm going to use button head screws kind of sit right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop 4 of them on here real quick.
Nice. So that works as a fastener. It's going to hold it right in place. That's all we need. YouTube says the base probably are like Flintstone rollers, similar to what you're going to get on the bottom, maybe.
Little Fred,
I'm assuming like the
little Fred feet.
I wasn't thinking the feet themselves. I was thinking maybe of like the car with the thing. But yeah, no, totally
That
could.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Little ghost feet running around, scampering.
I like that plan.
Raymond, of course, says, looks like you picked the wrong week to start catching ghosts. Nice. I like a nice crossover mashup quote.
That's right.
So,
Oh man, Christopher Lloyd, right? That's so good.
Lloyd Bridges? Is that who you're thinking of?
Yes.
From Airplane?
Yeah. Not Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, wrong Lloyd.
Lloyd Christmas. You just wait for all the Christmas themed songs I got queued up for when we do a Christmas stream. You thought the Thanksgiving stuff
Gravy for turkey.
was in there. Just wait. Speaking of Lloyd Christmas.
Did you just mention somebody yourself and then say, speaking of Lloyd Christmas, after you spoke of Lloyd Christmas?
Just me.
That's an
Talking
interesting
myself.
segue, me.
Nice job, me. Excellent work by me.
Okay. I'm going to do this little, I already forgot what I was told this was.
Yeah. I can't remember either, but I remember somebody saying it was something.
It's something. It's definitely something. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to break this. I'm going to grab this line and I'm going to divide it into 11 pieces. I'm going to grab all but the end lines. I'm going to move them out.
Nice. Also, Lawrence dropped an image of like a model of the wheels on the forum, and also Jody provided an image as well.
Awesome.
Jody, can you toss that in the forum thread? Por favor. I don't know if you might have to create a forum account. I don't know if you're on there or not, but you could sign up and drop that in there. Be appreciated. Jody runs the forum.
I got it. I thought it was a good joke.
No, love it. We will get to the wheels before the end of the stream. That's a guarantee by me on behalf of Aaron.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Gonna throw a big old circle in the middle of this thing.
Punch it. Punch a circle. Let's see. What else do we have to use up before the end of the stream here?
Is this true?
I was waiting for a good place to put that in. Couldn't find it. Okay.
Let's get this upright. And then right up on the model. It's somewhere like right about here-ish.
I buy it.
Significantly smaller.
YouTube says you need a shirt that says, "Do not speak to the talent." Yeah. You need that sign on on your dressing room too.
You mean the conference room across the hall? I got kicked out of there today, so
Kicked out of your own dressing room. Oh gosh.
it's a tough
What kind of environment is this? How can you create at a high level with this
business,
going on?
man. Tough business. All right, so I'm gonna just draw. So just keep this modeling simple. Just gonna draw a little rectangle right here. Pull that up like that or so, and then I'll grab that. Option copy that down to this corner, and then I'll pull that up to the same height, and then slap a button head on there. And save. All right.
Nice save.
Oh no, Transom's having internet troubles. Sorry to hear that. It's a shame. It's always the worst when when the internet goes out.
It's okay. I read this weekend that Elon Musk gonna take care of it all. He's got it. He's got it all covered.
Nice. I, for one, trust him. Mr. Musk, take me to the promised land. I've been saying this for years.
Is that what the restraining order is all about?
Wait, how do you know about that?
Background checks. Yeah.
2504 says, why SketchUp was created. And I just have to say,
I love this place.
why SketchUp was created. I think SketchUp definitely, well, originally SketchUp was made as an architectural modeling tool. That's what the original patent was sort of designed around. And that's what the whole product was kind of designed around. That's, the scale that things usually work in a best scale if they're like around the scale of a house or a structure. But obviously it's not just for houses. Like you can make ghost traps in it, or
For example,
people use SketchUp for all kinds of stuff, landscape architecture or woodworking or 3D printing. So all kinds of stuff besides the architectural, construction, interior design, stuff that, SketchUp is most popular for, but obviously you can use it for a lot of different stuff. So. Simon asks, asking the audience about how many are interested in using SketchUp to support BIM, not necessarily for design and construction, but operation and maintenance and asset management. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that? That's not really a question, but I think there are people who use SketchUp in like a BIM workflow. And most, I will say, advanced workflows entail, a number of different softwares in order to achieve the particular goal you're looking for. So I think SketchUp can hold its own as part of a, particular software workflow. Aaron would definitely say that BIM is sort of a rough, shaggy definition that probably doesn't, it's hard. What do you exactly mean when you say a BIM workflow? But yeah, no, I think, SketchUp can and is used for operation, maintenance, asset management, stuff like that. Just depends on exactly what your particular use cases.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest thing, Matt, and I think you're right, because I'm sure you've heard me talk about it many times, is that people use the term BIM as a catch-all for like whatever they need to do on a model, and really, BIM is so many things to so many people, and everybody has a little bit different thing they need from BIM, and SketchUp generally fits somewhere in a BIM workflow. But I don't know, anybody who's looking for an all-in-one BIM solution, I guess let me know if you find it. I guess come across that. Let me give me a ring.
Paul says he's been on Starlink for 6 months and it's surprisingly good. I've heard this too of people who are in like kind of remote areas that normal broadband internet can't get to. That Starlink, although not like you probably wouldn't want to stream on it. Like it's not consistently up, at least as far as my friend that I've talked to about it. But speeds are and like consistency are a lot better than anything else that you can get in this particular area where this person lives. So yeah, heard good things about Starlink for sure.
That's cool. I'm all for it. I don't get upset about what's going on with like internet providers or anything like that, but I like the idea of having an option, especially something that can be used, anywhere. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm all for what Musk is working on. And I read an article this week about the phone, which I think is gonna be very interesting.
I don't know to what you refer.
The Tesla Pi phone, is that right? Is that what he's gonna call it? Yeah, it's he's gonna go head to head with Apple and Samsung
interesting.
and Xiaomi, I think is the other one that they say is like it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
News to me. Breaking news to me. iPhone V1. Try it today. Transom says that part looks like a bench dog. I think this is a couple minutes ago, so I don't know exactly what. I also don't know what a bench dog is. I don't know if you do, but he says woodworking related. So that's that comment.
I think something somewhere may have done that. I believe you.
YouTube says that he doesn't know that you invented SketchUp. So he's trying to start a rumor, or maybe that's just the truth. Who knows?
I can go ahead and say that that's not me. I don't want that. I don't want that responsibility. No, that was not me. That was not me. That was definitely
a lot of people are saying this. And Lawrence points out correctly that SketchUp was bought by Google so that users of Google Earth could add 3D buildings. So yeah, SketchUp started as a startup under Atlas Software, was purchased by Google in 2006 to basically user-generated content Google Earth and get 3D buildings in there. And then 2012 was sold to Trimble and now is the SketchUp that you, of course, know and love. Paul says, I think this is talking about Starlink. Yeah, it bounces 1 time per day in beta maintenance. Other than that, it's 100 times better than terrestrial connectivity. Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Good to know.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily looking right now because I have some pretty good internet at a really good price for the town that I live in. Has it, but I'm looking for one day, maybe just seeing what's out there. I like it. I like the idea.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will not end this stream until we convert you to Starlink. So that is my pledge here today, and we will get you. You're gonna have to open up a window, go to starlink.com, whatever it is, punch in your credit card info, and we're gonna have to all see it.
Wow. And
then that's how we end the stream. It's a big congratulations for getting on. No, I have no affiliation to Starlink, but interesting to hear your thoughts about it, of course.
All right, I got wheels. Wheels.
Nice. This thing's rolling. We're rolling.
Whoa! Huh.
Yeah, rolly.
All right, I don't think where are we at? It's 2:00, so I'm gonna skip the foot
Pedal?
pedal. Yeah, it's a pretty simple. I bet maybe I'll end up doing it for fun over the weekend and just throw it up on the warehouse. Also. But I want to paint this. I want to come in here. I want to get. It's going to be 90% black, but I'm going to do it.
Nice material time.
That's right.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to come in here. So when I do, when you paint, you do want to go down all the way to the bottommost level. So I'm actually want to put colors onto the surfaces and not the groups. There's many reasons. I'll make a video on that later. We don't have to talk about that. The other thing that I generally like to say is don't use black, right? Because if I use black, my detail for this entire thing, all those little bits and bobs and pieces you put in there are gone. So
Turns into a
generally,
black box.
yeah, that's exactly right. I'll come down to like somewhere around here, like a 80, 90% gray, something like that, and I'll have that be my black. That way I can still see the edges. Something else people have talked about is like, well, I put all black on it and then I turn my white lines on. That's cool, but to really take advantage of things like the light and dark that SketchUp does such a good job at, you can't do that if you got that full black thing going on. So generally speaking, I will just make sure to do that. The other thing is small details like this. So this screw, for example, I'm gonna actually go in and edit the components so they all change. I will a lot of times do that in a slightly different color too. So either slightly lighter or slightly darker. That way they stand out. If everything, again, it's all monolithically colored, which I know, I mean, this is all the same color. These probably are all the same black, but in my model, just that slight difference in color helps that screw stand out against the black behind it. So just something to think about if you get into that. And then the other thing is, I'll generally pick a color that I want to use for like my different materials and then try to just reuse them. So this is kind of a bright aluminum, looks like. So I'll stick with like a light gray like that and then just try to use that throughout all those pieces like that. So they look similar.
Nice. Yeah, it's some cohesive look and feel to your model for sure.
Yeah.
Good call. I'm going to speed read some comments here. Volkov says, when is SketchUp 2022 coming out? Unfortunately, can't say. Trimble's a publicly traded company, and that would be against the law. Transom, Wi-Fi is up. Yes, internet, baby. Barry says, who did invent SketchUp? That was a man by the name of Brad Shell and Joe Esch, team of two guys who started SketchUp together, and then obviously the team grew from there. Let's see. What's that joystick in your left hand called? Does it speed up your workflow? It's a 3D Connection Space Mouse Enterprise. Yes, it does speed up your workflow. Bill, Bench Dog, it's a peg you put in your workbench to hold/butt material up against. Good to know. Transom says the gold-colored heatsink that you're modeling is a thing that looked like a bench dog. Keggy says, that's wheelie good, Aaron, when you finish the wheels on the bottom. Colin says he was talking to a Starlink customer the other day. He says he gets about 300 Mbps, but that varies. You can only point at one satellite at one time. And once there's more satellites, then that rate will increase. 300 Mbps is still pretty good for the most part.
Can't argue that, yeah.
Bill says, working on the weekend, don't you have a family? I think, as you mentioned, you're going to do the pedal there on the weekend, but there's always time for SketchUp. Lawrence asked if you could do some weathering. I don't know if that necessarily fits in the scope of this stream, but maybe you can talk Aaron into it. YouTube says it's not against the law unless it's a secret. Hardly call a live stream a secret. I just don't. Not gonna talk about that. Transom, and I think this is along the lines of what you said, is you could paint your lines a lighter color than the black face. But it looks like what you do is just keep the lines black, have the face a little bit lighter. So yeah, either one would basically do the same thing, adding contrast into the model. manga drawing, how do you make the object look used? So the black metal has white edges on it that makes it appear used. Is it something you can do with a textured, with an image? Yes, as with most things in SketchUp, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You could just use a texture that has that kind of weathering on it. You could like add in geometry that you color differently. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other suggestions or recommendations of ways people could make their models look weathered?
Yeah, so I've done weathering before in SketchUp a couple different ways, and I'll say that I mean it's not the best program for that. Something that will let you do actual like 3D painting on it is a lot easier. But I have done things like, so if I wanted to exit out here and show something real quick. So if I wanted to weather this corner, I might come in here and do something like, whoops, grab my freehand tool and then maybe do something like this.
Always a use for the freehand tool.
Yeah, I came across a use for it the other day and I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. It's just not used that often. So I'll do something like that. And then when I come in here with my, my main color, like that, I'll come back afterwards and then maybe grab my silver then and go like that to give it that scraped up look. And even, play with it a little bit, delete the lines maybe. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. That's how I've done it before. I've seen other people who have actually gone in and taken images of like rusted material, that kind of stuff, and actually, because that's one option that I could actually do is go in and grab each surface off of the model and put it in there, and then use the pins to like align it and that kind of stuff. That's an option too. That's probably a whole live stream to get all these pieces off and then distort them and pin them on. But you can see that's the kind of thing you could do. You come in here and just draw these lines, draw little bumps out, and then put white or light silver on there. So you could do that. That's absolutely an option.
Yeah, you can add as much of or as little as you want. Because yeah, I feel like you could go into so much detail just perfecting it, making it look exactly, realistic and perfect and stuff. But yeah, probably the easiest way is just to get a texture on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, if you're going to do each individual face, if you want it to look super nice, you're going to have to go in and make sure each exact face is like lined up perfectly and everything, and that can
definitely doable. But it's
stack up your time.
Yeah, it's an investment. It's an investment in your time. Awesome. Whoops, why did this guy get? Oh, did I color these? Let's grab that same lighter gray. Sweet, it's looking pretty cool. So obviously one of the most identifiable pieces of this is that yellow and black stripes across the top. So let's go in here and take a look at these. Let's go ahead and hide everything. I'm going to start by taking the whole thing and giving it the dark color. And now what I have to think about is I got to get this to line up across both sides. So these two sides, of course, they're opposite each other, but they don't line up that way. So I can't just do my lines across here and have them properly. So I will have to make these individual components at this point. So I'm gonna grab this one and make it unique. And then out of context, I'm actually gonna draw my lines out of context because I need this all to line up properly. So I'm looking at a copy of the image on another screen right now, in case you guys wonder why I'm talking to somebody who's not here over there. Take that, and I will take that, and that goes about to here. I'm going to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. By 6. Let's see, that's yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. I didn't do that right. Did I lose you, Matt? I think I lost Matt. So I'm gonna take this. Sorry, I'm counting. I got the image over here, but I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is gonna go here. 7, is that right? No, divide by 6. So this is yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. Maybe it's 7. Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. That's the one. Okay. And then to get my last one on here, grab this, copy this to here, grab this, copy this to here. And then I'm going to grab all of these lines. And then what I'll do is I will copy them and then hop into context and just paint them in there so they break the top. Then, all right, so now I can come in here, edit, paste in place. Boom, those get dropped down like that. And get rid of all these extra lines. And then I'll have to come in here and drop that down like that. Get that over here, 7x, 8x apparently. All right, and with that, then I can come in with my yellow and put that here.
Bada bing, bada boom. Love it. Look at that.
And then I got it over here. I'll hit it, edit, paste in place again. Same lines get dropped on, so I know the grid's going to line up between the two. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And I always have to be very conscious of where I start. Okay, so I'm going to peek. Okay, this one gets yellow.
Good to double check always.
Oh, yeah. It's not cheating if it's... I don't have a way to end that.
It's always cheating a little bit, but who knows? People were talking about using like an airbrush tool or something like that to add the weathering detail. Yeah, I know. Like we talked about earlier, like SketchUp is usually a piece in the workflow, and you know, like Photoshop just has such a good brush tool.
Yeah,
just Photoshop or some other, you know, GIMP or something like that. Yeah, so that's what I would particularly say, but that's my own personal opinion. These opinions do not necessarily reflect views of Major League Baseball. Bill says, yet another excellent demo with the crystal clear explanations. Thank you. Have to leave now. So watch the last few bits on SketchUp. Hopefully see you at base camp. Thanks for watching, Bill. Yeah, hope to see you there.
All right.
We'll be there.
That's right. So I created 2 layers. This is the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make an open and close version. I made these. I copied them to open. So I turned that off. Oh no, I tapped them to close because they're closed. That makes a lot more sense. It's towards the end of the stream. I've used all the juice up. All right, so I copied it onto closed. I'm gonna go ahead and copy it and then turn that off. I'm going to turn open to the active and edit, paste in place. And then switch that to open. I guess I didn't have to make that active. I could have done that anyhow. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to come in here. What I need is I need a line that represents the middle of this door. So I'm just going to draw a line. I'm going to send it way out like that. It's temporary geometry. Because I don't want to change what's inside the container. I want to change what's on the outside of the container. So I'm going to take that now from that endpoint right there. Switch it up to 90 degrees. And then I can go back inside that component and get rid of all that noise. Do the same thing here, come into context.
Nice, the sacrificial geometry.
That's right, it's gonna be gone in like less than a couple seconds.
Nice. Well, we give it up to the
end.
SketchUp gods, as we do every Friday here on SketchUp Live.
To you. There we go. And then I will take, so both of those are now on the open tag. So even though it's buried in there, it's several layers deep. Now I can just toggle between open and closed to get either one of those.
Nice.
So I
Oh,
did.
and you could.
I did flirt with the idea of a dynamic component, but especially at this point in the stream, where right at the end, like yeah.
Nobody wants to watch that.
No, that's like yeah, watching somebody sweat while they eat, or I don't know what the comparison is, but it's not pretty. This, I really wanted this to be fun. Dynamic components are awesome. I really like dynamic components a lot. You guys have seen me use dynamic components; they're good, but I definitely have to prep for that and pay close attention to what I'm doing. And at the end of 2 hours of modeling is not the time to take that one. So,
And this works great too.
Nice.
I mean, look, it works.
all right, last bit of question. Does anybody have any idea what the actual size of a ghost trap is? So we can scale this.
This one goes out to you, chat. How big is a ghost trap?
All right, so while that's coming in, Kegi called this. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 scenes real quick.
Why?
Because I want to make it easier rather than turning those tags on and off each time. I just want to be able to, with a click of the button, flip between open and closed. So I'm going to create specific types of scenes too. So I'm going to come down here before I even hit plus. I'm going to turn off everything except for visible tags. Because I want to create a scene that all it does is change what's visible. And I'm going to hit plus. And now I'm going to toggle open and closed, hit plus again. And now I have 2 scenes, and just clicking between these 2, open and close that door. Simple.
Whoa!
That's cool.
Thank you.
Nazri says, hi, hey, thanks for popping in. You just caught the end of it. But if you're looking for a recording of this, it'll be on YouTube afterwards if you want to watch the entire process. Lauren says, you're watching somebody sweat while they eat. Where have you been on the internet? I think Hot Ones probably is up there as a possible.
I was just thinking about last Thanksgiving, so I assume we're going to be in the same spot again.
Yummy.
Baste the turkey often.
Let's see. Some people said 2 feet, 1 foot, 6 by 8 by 14, says Kegi.
Wow, that seems very specific to me.
Yeah. You know what you're talking about here.
That's right. That sounds. I'm gonna go with Kegi's recommendation just because it sounds very legitimate. He could be lying. I wouldn't be too surprised. But all right, I'm sure there's a Ghostbuster wiki somewhere or something, right?
Oh, there's got to be.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and make this 14 inches. Scale this group. All right.
Beauty. See you later, Sacrificial. Tiago says, next week, converting the trapdoors to dynamic components.
That sounds about right.
Next week's Tyson's week, so.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And let's have it change color when you click on it and have light shoot out of it too. Next week, only here on live stream with Tyson.
It's going to be amazing. I'm hyped for that.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, that turned out pretty cool. That was fun. That was a good one. There's still stuff they could do. These pictures, so the images are up on the forum. I'm going to throw this up onto our warehouse. So if anybody does want to try, putting those images, there's also like some little labels and stuff like that throughout here. It could be kind of fun to cut off of the image and drop it on, but it's there for you. It's there for you. So you can use that if you want. But right now, this is what we got.
That's awesome. This place is ridiculous.
Can't cook a Thanksgiving dinner.
Matt just smashed his face on the keyboard twice to make all that happen. Grand finale.
That's what I'm good at.
Awesome. Well, cool. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for doing that. As usual, we do this because you're here with us. If you weren't here with us, it would just be us doing this by ourselves. So we love to hear your input. Before you head out, if you want to drop a comment Praising me, that's fine. That you can do it too. But no, please leave us a comment about what you'd like to see in our live streams. We've been kicking around some different ways to maybe do this, maybe something a little refresher in the new year, but we'd like to hear your input. If that's different models, if that's different workflows, modeling types. I know one of the things we've been asked a lot is, can we get other people to come in and model? And we are all for that. We've done a lot of collaborative work with other modelers and other users. It is hard to get people set up to live stream to YouTube. So it's not a quick and easy process. So that would mean bringing people in here to do that. And right now our office still isn't fully open, so we can't do that yet. Something we want to do in the future though. So we're not saying no. Go ask your mom. Yeah.
Someday in the future, hopefully.
We do want to get there. We want to get other people in here modeling because that's fun. We like collaboration. So awesome.
Yes. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Hey, I had a good time.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the chat had a good time. It seemed like they did.
Seemed like a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great stream. It's a nice looking model. Good job by you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And, I'd say have a great weekend.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one, and hopefully catch you next week.
Baste the turkey often.
Don't forget. Thank you.